What's up, hooligans? In today's video, I'm reviewing the Super Conqueror and hoping you decide if it is worth it or if you should save your money. The hit points are average for a tier 10 heavy at 2,438. The armor is actually pretty good, especially the turret with the front at 280, sides 89, and rear 70. The front of the hull is at 155, sides 102, and the rear 40. We'll look at the armor more in Armor Inspector. View range is pretty decent at 282.5, which is enough for you to work with. The concealment isn't the greatest, but that's to be expected from a heavy tank. Damage per minute is about average for a tier 10 at 2,651. The reload time is decent at 9 seconds. Penetration is pretty good with the AP at 272, APCR 342, and the HE at 121. Damage isn't anything special, it's pretty average with the AP at 400, APCR 340, and the HE at 515. Aiming time and dispersion aren't the best at 4 seconds and 0.318 respectively. Gun elevation is at 15 degrees and gun depression at 10 degrees. These are very good and you'll be effective in most situations you find yourself in. The Conqueror isn't that fast with the top speed going for 36, reverse 16, and the average speed at 29. This is fast enough to get in position at the start of the battle and reposition if needed. You won't be flanking with your meds and lights in this tank. Turn rates are pretty good with the turret at 38.88 and the hull at 33.60 degrees a second. You could snap on a target very quickly with these turn rates. The terrain crossing capacity and engine power look alright for the Super Conqueror. I'll flash the consumables, provisions, ammunition, and equipment on the screen. That's just how I like to run the tank. The credit coefficient is at 140%. It'll make some credits for you, but not a whole lot. The front of the Super Conqueror is pretty well armored, and it has a whole lot of spaced armor with some on the upper hull, the cheeks, the cupola, and even a little bit on the gun. If anyone tries to use heat on these spots, it won't go through. Enemies will be able to pin your lower plate, inner cheeks, possibly the turret ring, and the cupola. This upper part of the turret and the cupola are very troll and hard to pin. One downside is most people will just switch to HE and splash your turret, but other than that, not many people will be able to pin your turret if used correctly. Everyone will pin the sides, but you do have some spaced armor on the cheek and the side right here. And obviously, everyone will pin your rear. You mainly want to hide the lower and upper hull in a hull down position, preferably on a hill or ridgeline using the gun depression to get the most effective use out of the Super Conqueror. How would you play the Conqueror, and what are some tactics you could use to play it effectively? You can play it frontline, but you mainly want to use it in a hull down position, giving support to your team. I know I've said this so many times, but hull down is how you play this heavy. Brawling isn't recommended, but depending on the situation, you can do it. Peekaboo is pretty effective, especially hull down. Trading if you have enough HP and depending on the situation, but preferably you want to avoid doing this. Sniping long range, it'll suffer, but mid to short range is the sweet spot for the Super Conqueror. 1v1s, it depends on how much HP you have and the alpha, HP, and reload speed of the enemy you're going up against. That's mainly how you want to play the Super Conqueror, but maybe you'll have to be more aggressive and start a push, or flank around the enemy heavies to catch them off guard. It all depends on how the battle is going and the situations you find yourself in. You'll have to adapt to what is going on around you. If you think I left out any important information or tactics, leave them in the comments below. Also, if you made it this far into the video, consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel. But let's get to the replays now. I pushed base A very aggressive to see if I could get a sneaky shot off towards the enemy mediums. I don't have any shots and I get nailed by the 60 TP. This is why you don't push super aggressive. I'm able to get another shot into him and I start pushing him. I don't get far though because the IS-7 is spotted. I don't really want to get hit by him, so I angle my side, get a nice bounce and a return shot into him and back up into cover. The ML2 is flanking the left side and we have a TD supporting us from behind. If the 60 TP or the IS-7 decide to rush me, that TD is going to punish them. We didn't pin the IS-7, but both of the heavies end up bouncing us. I know my reload is faster than both of theirs, so I pull out, pre-aim my shot, and get into the IS-7. I try to quickly back up, but he returns the favor. I realize I'm being way too aggressive and making too many mistakes. And I realize I could start using the ML2 as a hit point pull. Once the 60 TP fires at our ML2, I pull out and get a shot into the IS-7. He started pushing me, but realized the ML was right there, so he switched targets and got a shot into him. I take advantage of this, pull out, and whack him. I check to see how the left side's doing, and it's not looking too hot for our team. I repeat the process, they focus the ML, and I pull out and snap a shot into the IS-7, and that is a nice high roll. You gotta love it when you get the high rolls. The IS-7 is now a one shot, but so is our ML, and he decides to rush out. I don't know why, but I'm gonna take advantage of the situation, pull out, and finish off the IS-7. And the 60 TP takes out our ML. I know my reload is definitely faster than the 60 TP, so I stay here until I could get another shot off into him, tracking him in place, and I back up and cover safely. Since our TD is still supporting us from behind, all I have have to do is chill here and wait until the 60 TP decides to push me and he could easily take him out. I take a nasty hit from the 183 and I did not even notice him until it was too late. The WZ is still in that corner so I could use him to my advantage. I try baiting out the 183 and running away so he could get into his line of fire. I turn around and put the strongest part of my tank towards the 183 because if he ends up getting a shot towards me, I want the best chance of survival. If he does try to hit me, there's most likely not a chance of survival, but hey, the thought is what counts. I track him and use the 60 TP as cover to try to get away as far as possible. The WZ hits him, I'm still trying to back up, get a shot into him, and he ends up missing his shot. I'm not gonna lie, I almost had a heart attack there. I push in, go into sniper mode to make sure that I don't miss my shot. If I did, this would have been so embarrassing, and I finish him off. My team managed to take out almost the entire enemy team on the left-hand side. All that's left is the M48 Patton. I don't get a whole lot more damage, but I managed to sneak in and steal everybody's kill, taking out the M48 Patton. Can you blame me though? And obviously we get the win. We did 4,484 damage, 1,520 damage blocked, 3 tanks destroyed, and the first class. We got a decent chunk of credits for tier 10 and first on the leaderboard. I start making my way into a very strong haul down position, and the Super Conqueror is going to be extremely strong in this spot. I ended up getting 5.6k damage and I stayed in the spot for pretty much 90% of this battle except towards the end when I had to push in. I'm looking for shots and I can't really pin the M48 Patton's turret, but the E75 is just pushing up out in the open without a care in the world, so obviously I'm gonna bonk him. The ML is sitting out in the open so I could get easy shots on him. I activate Adrenaline, push up, switch to HE, and get a pretty decent shot into his backside. I get a bounce off my turret, and the M48 Patton decides to rush out in the open and reposition. One of my teammates punished him, and I was trying to get a shot off, but I just didn't think the shot would connect. I start looking for my next victim when the E75 appears. He ends up bouncing off me, and obviously, I gotta whack him for that. I keep an eye on that Patton while I'm on a reload to make sure he's not gonna get any shots on me. I'm seeing where the enemies are at, and the E75 pulls out, and I get a very nice high roll into him, tracking him in place, but I take a hit from that Patton. Right now my biggest threat is the M48, and I'm considering pulling up and putting some pressure on him, but I gotta make sure that none of the heavies on the left hand side are going to get shots on me when I do that. Right now is the only chance I have at getting a shot into him, so I push up, aim in, and all I see is his red turret, so I gotta push up a bit more and bap him. I pull back just in time because the ML2 was aiming at me. He snaps a shot, but it lands just in front of me, and that Patton hits me again. He is such a nuisance to me right now. I'm going to ignore him for now. I'm going to keep an eye on him just to make sure he doesn't get shots into me, but I'm going to focus on the heavies and make sure that they're not pulling out and getting shots on me. But they're not coming out, and the Patton isn't coming out, so I start looking for new targets, and I notice the grill is aiming right at me. I snap a shot into him, and he whiffs his shot, and it goes right over me. I check that Patton real quick to make sure he's not sneaking out. I notice the ML2 backing out into the open for some reason, exposing himself. I pull up and try to snap a shot into him. Obviously it does not go through. I back up and I observe the battle to see where I'm most needed. It looks like our left side is pretty much wiped out and the enemy is about to push through. I rotate positions and start focusing the Super Conqueror. I snap a shot into him right as he's going over the road, crossing over. I'm gonna keep focusing the Conqueror, just whittling down his hit points. And he's not even paying attention to me as I do this. I get another shot, tracking him in place, slowing him down momentarily, allowing me to get another shot or two into him. He's still pushing up. He didn't learn his lesson, so I'm gonna punish him a little bit more. I get another shot into him, and hopefully my team could finally do a little bit of something and take him out. For a second I thought the E75 was about to start pushing up, but he doesn't, and the FV40005 is also spotted. But I end up getting another shot into the Super Conqueror. He is now a definite one shot for my team, so they should be able to handle him because I don't have any more shots on him. Right now I'm just trying to look for somebody to farm more damage on or get a gun out of the game, but it does not look like I have any shots, and right as I'm about to reposition, the ML2 is spotted, so I snap a shot into him and he ends up missing me. It's not looking too hot for my team. It's a 5 vs 7 situation and the enemy is in the lead on cap points, but there are a lot of them that are one shots towards this left side. So I decide to start pushing in and start taking out the lowest HP targets to get some points and guns out of the game. I have a decent amount of my HP left, so I could afford to be more aggressive, push out, and focus the low HP tanks. Also, I could be a huge distraction for the enemy so my team could actually get some shots on the enemy and take them out. The ML2 is spotted, so I snap a shot into him and it bounces. Why? That looked like it would have gone through. But no, RNGesus doesn't like me now. I keep pushing forward and the ML2 is able to get a shot into me. That's okay though, because there are some enemies to my right hand side that are one shots and I'm going to focus them first. Like that E75. He is gone now. I try to see who comes out first, but I activate adrenaline and just decide to focus the grill. Dice 4 decides to rush in. See what I did there? Which is very brave of him, but I'm still gonna focus low HP tanks first. Is the Super Conqueror worth it? It's not broken, but it is very strong if you play it right. Its playstyle is very similar to a T-34 or T-30s. So if you enjoy the playstyle of those tanks, you really want the Super Conqueror, and have money, then yes, get it. You'll enjoy playing the Super Conqueror, but only get it if you have enough money. Tier 10s are pretty expensive, so if you don't have money, do not waste it on the Super Conqueror. And only get it if you know you're definitely going to get the tank. Don't waste it on containers. Containers are such a waste of money, and Wargaming should get rid of them. What do you think of the Super Conqueror? Do you agree with what I said, or do you disagree? Let me know in the comments below. Did you enjoy the video? Check out this one. I think you'll like it too.